Hey, today I'm going to be doing another Animal Crossing video. This time I'll be doing an island tour by request. Super excited to show you guys all the things I've done. So I've really based most of my island around a very urban kind of theme, as you can see from the bakery shop and the plant shop I have at the entrance of my island. Walking through this area, you can see that it just opens up to all my shops on a busy street. My inspiration was that busy road that has all the shops and the restaurants that almost every town or city has. I really wanted to give that island this feel. So this is my busy city center that focuses on the city hall at the very center. Right next to it is the museum over here with this grand entrance, and as you walk up the steps you really feel like you're in the middle of a city. My big inspiration for this was actually when I lived back in Philadelphia, where the museum was this grand walkway that was right in the middle of buildings and you can just see the city from it. Continuing down the path, it takes you back right onto that main street. I've surrounded it by buildings, so to the right of it's an art shop, to the left is a ceramic shop, but just below it is a cluster of buildings. I was sure to include details like fortune cookie carts or stalls on the street side, so that way it still looks like there's shops on both sides. Around this corner is the ramen shop that I've made using the noodles during the New Year's event. Here's my recipe stalls for anybody that visits so they can pick up recipes I had extras of, including a Celeste stall that I also set up for when I have extra constellation recipes. Super proud to say that I've made all my own custom designs on this island. Past this area is my dog park. It's actually one of my favorite things on the island, mostly because it's the only spot that doesn't have an item or a custom design over it, and so it forces all the fossils to spawn in one place on my island. This street opens right up into my residential area that I have both Tutu and Annabelle living at. Down here is a public park with a picnic spot for anybody to grab fruit, enjoy a snack. This area branches into multiple places, but I'm going to be coming down left into one of my more natural areas. So you might recognize this area from my first ever YouTube video. It's my lake area. I got two villagers here, Zell and Sher, both living on the water side. I really wanted to highlight a more natural space in the game. In the distance, I've set up a lighthouse and some small tiny doll houses to make it look like there's a village in the distance. I really like to include these sort of spaces, and so you'll see a few more examples around my island. Just gonna make a quick detour to Diana's front yard over here. I gave her plenty of bonsai trees and plants so she can have some gardening to do in her spare time. Over here, I've made a decrepit train station in the middle of the woods. I made each of the rooms around a certain theme, so I'll show you a few of them. Starting right out, you walk into a train station with a few different destinations. Each room takes you to a different place. Just starting here and going to the basement is actually my speakeasy as a little tribute to Brewster. Till, Nintendo eventually adds him into the game. I will be patiently waiting. Coming back upstairs, I'm going to actually take you to the end of the platform that leads into, drumroll, a back alley in the city. Right, so each of these different places takes you to a completely different space in the world. So if you ever have free time, feel free to pop to my island. I have my dream code in my description and on my channel, and you can see the rest of this house yourself. To continue the tour, I'm actually going to just run along these train tracks back towards the airport. I'm going to make a quick detour down here to my fish market. Since the villagers seem unable to actually catch any fish or bugs, they can come here and take a look at whatever they want. Sorry, it looks like Savannah wants to talk, so I'm just going to fast forward through this real quick. Down this way, it takes me to my pier on the beach. I kind of based it off of Santa Monica Pier from back when I lived in LA, where there's, rides and food, and got a teacup ride that you gotta use a ticket to get into. Coming back onto the train tracks, you can see that I've nested some villager homes into these buildings I've made. There's Chief's home next to a bunch of tall row houses that I saw when I lived back in Philly. Here's Savannah's house nested next to the buildings again, but it's also right next to a little picnic park that actually leads back up to that area to the right of my museum. I opted for some more natural cliffs to separate my museum area from the beaches on the right, just to really kind of separate the space. But once you cross over this bridge, it actually leads into an area that's a little more Asian inspired. I've given June her own little space here on the left, and on the right is Hornsby's house that I've put on the beach. If you've ever seen the inside of Hornsby's house, it actually looks like it belongs on a beach anyway, so I thought it was pretty fitting. Back here is my rock garden. I saw a lot of people were putting all their gardens in a perfect square. I wanted something that felt a little more natural, so I gave it a walking path, but I also surrounded it by all these grasses and flowers on the beach. The cool thing about flowers on the beach is they don't grow, so if you pluck them to make them into buds, you can make it look like a nice kind of grass instead of a flower. But finally, we reached my house. I made sure my house had a view, so I put that Japanese city in the background with a little seating area. I want to give a quick tour of my house. I'm not going to go through every room, but I am going to go through my favorites in my house. Just coming right in here, this is my living room. I wanted to really pull that Asian theme through from the outside to the inside. Here's my office area, using the simple panels with the same design as the windows on the wall, but I was sure to make sure there's an easy DIY table so I can easily make recipes through using stuff for my storage without having to go into any other rooms. Up here is my bedroom slash den. I've made an entertaining space to relax, play some games, but over here is my bedroom. I've nested my bed in between bookshelves to really give it more of a separation of space. Just gonna run down to my basement. I can't take credit for this idea. I saw something similar online, but I loved the use of the water flooring as well as a bunch of wooden deck rugs to turn the entire area into a pool. So here's my relaxing spot. Over here I've got a photo of Zell, who's one of my favorite villagers. Oh, I didn't know they can interact with it like that. Totally had these photos in my house for forever and I did not know they actually gave you a message. That's really cool. If you want to see the rest of my house, again, you can go visit my dream code and explore the other rooms. Continuing back here, I've given myself a little reading spot with, again, a view of the temple in the background. Love the whole forced perspective kind of look. Here on the left, though, I can't take credit for this temple either. I actually pulled it off Jean.crossing from Instagram. I think she has some really cool photos on there. But right here is one of my favorite spots on my island. I think it makes my island look a lot bigger than it really is because I've turned this back area into a forest. I stunted the growth of all the trees using fruit saplings. As you can see, I'm back in that first residential area. To the far left over here by Dom's house is an entrance to my forest, but I'm actually going to enter through the back way because I want to show you my campsite area first. I made an extra villager just so I can have a tent, so you might recognize this from when you first got the game before you even get a house. I've turned it into a glamping spot. Cockroaches included, free of charge. Of course, in real life, a campsite wouldn't be complete unless it was in a beautiful natural area, so I really wanted to capture kind of a whole wild wood area. Here is actually my boyfriend's house. If you want to explore it, again, you can visit the dream code yourself, but I'm actually just going to head down through this walking trail in the forest that takes you right back to the exit of the woods. But I'm almost done with my island tour, so I'm going to show you the last area. As you come through the woods, you can sneak out through the left, and that'll take you to the beach. It leads down to what I call my adventure zone. So there's a big bike trail here on the water. It leads straight to a bike/scuba rental area, where you can also buy tickets for the rock climbing wall to the right. My inspiration for this area was I wanted to look like a nice public beach park where villagers can come by and enjoy the sun and the sand, or, you know, rent a bike and exercise or whatever they wanted to do. Here to the right is my outdoor juice bar, and it leads right back to that train station from the beginning of the video. So I'm going to take you back to the town center just before I wrap up this video. Coming past this little train platform, it leads right back to the ramen shop that I showed you guys before. I hope you guys enjoyed my tour. I hope you guys liked my island. Again, if you want to do some extra exploring and spend some more time here, my dream code is in the description. I'm obsessed with this game, so I change up my island every other day. So if you want to see what projects I have under my belt and want to see my island grow, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.